Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Concession Stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the Netflix survival action thriller starring Charlize Theron and Taron Egerton, Apex. And this film tells the story of a rock climber in the wild who finds herself being hunted by a hunter as she works to survive. Apex comes to us from the director of such films as Everest, Two Guns, Contraband. He's a pretty solid director. Not a blockbuster director, but solid little action films. I love Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington. Ironically enough, I actually watched that. Well, not the whole movie be shot, but I saw a couple of scenes being shot. It was shot in my hometown. And Contraband as well, but I didn't see that being filmed. But those were pretty decent movies. And Everest was a really good movie. Told a true story about a team going up Mount Everest and hit by this storm as they tried to get down from the mountain. Good movie. This film also, we have mountains involved. We have Charlize Theron getting her Tom Cruise on by performing the vast majority of her own stunts in this film. When you see her climbing the mountains, she was climbing it. She was doing the work. I was truly impressed by that. The film, I must say, was really good. It's an enjoyable watch. Nothing that reinvents the wheel. It's not a new take on being hunted, those type of films out in the wild and trying to survive. It's a typical survival action thriller. Nothing new here that you haven't seen before. Now, I think it was shot in a very innovative way. I did enjoy the filmmaking aspect of this film. You have some one shots, some action set pieces that looked amazing. Looked really, really cool. Even though I know there were some hitting edits in those shots, but it still came off pretty seamless for the most part. I really did like how the director placed the camera in certain areas and put you in the tension. He put you in those situations where you didn't just feel Charlize Theron's character in peril, but it felt like you was in peril. It felt like you was hanging off of the side of the mountain, or you being swept up in these river rapids, and it was very tense. And speaking of tension, there were some very tense moments in this film. The thriller aspect of it was spot on, perfect. I was nervous for Charlize Theron throughout this whole adventure that she's going on. And what can I say about Charlize Theron? She's an amazing actress, an Academy Award winning actress. It's, while watching the movie, I was pondering ever since she won the Academy Award for Monster, and every now and then she'll pop up in a drama. Bombshell comes to mind, movies like that. She does well. She's one of those actresses that you can bet on. Anytime she pops up in it, she's going to give her best. She's going to give her 100%. Even though the movie may not be 100%, she gives 100% performance, and she does in this as well. This is a flawed character who is dealing with grief, dealing with her own ego, and all of that is converging on her mental health at the same time, where we find her in this film, and she's navigating through that, and we're going through that with her. And along with her running from our villain here, played just menacingly by Taron Egerton, she had to deal with a lot. And speaking of Taron, man, he needs to play a villain more. He needs to play a villain more. He was so menacing and so charming when we first meet him. You knew going into this film that he was the villain, but when we first meet him, you really believe that he's a good guy. And throughout the film, even after we see him do these menacing things and we find out what he's truly all about, even after that, you still felt sympathy for the character. You still felt like there was a chance he could be redeemed in this film, all the way up to his last scene in the movie. It was like, man, Taron Egerton really brought depth to a character that was pretty one note. The character is written to be just this mustache twirling villain, but he brought so much more to the character. I'm truly impressed by him in the film. Aside from that, there's really nothing else acting wise, because those were the main two stars throughout the film. Eric Bana shows up early on in the film. He plays Charlize Theron's husband, at least the character in the movie early on. He did a decent job. You know, love Eric Bana. I even liked him as the Hulk back in the day. But aside from that, there was nobody else in the movie. The movie just centralizes on Charlize and Taron, and that's all you needed. You know, this was a pretty ABC movie, you know, point A to B and to point C. And it did a good job. You know, it didn't overstay its welcome. The movie is about 90 minutes long, in and out. We hop into the action, and once that happens, it's off to the races, literally. My only hangups about the film is basically what I said earlier. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. We've been down this road before, kind of a cut and paste of any survival in the wilderness film that we've seen a million times in the past, with a little flair. They tried to sauce it up a little bit, but you know, the story was the story. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Really relied on your two leads to kind of push this film along with some good action sequences, which it does a good job in all those areas. But as far as the story is concerned, it was the story. It was a simple story. Nothing, no weight there, you know, nothing you can really chew on. But in a movie like this, are you really looking for that? You're just looking for a decent action film, and I think you got a tad bit above decent. I feel it was above average. That's why I'm giving Apex, which is currently on Netflix, a letter grade of a B-. I thought it was fairly well, man. A real good, enjoyable movie that will hold up on rewatch. This is something you can watch a couple of times. You know, you can watch, put on in the background while you're doing chores and whatnot, and probably turn around in certain areas or certain parts of the movie. And after that little scene over, you can go back and just listen to it while you're mopping the floors or doing the dishes, whatever you're doing. It is a good movie, good performances, directed fairly well. Another banger from Netflix. I would like to know, what did you think of Apex? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Or is it just the same old with these type of films? I would love to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Concession Stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Apex. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.